In order to import our data, we need to know how many rows of data we are grabbing. To get the last row, we are going to programmatically go to the bottom of the worksheet and then go back up. What we will land on is the last row. To get to the bottom of the worksheet, we will use rows.count. So let's see what that prints out first. Now I'm back in our get data workbook. And so I'm just going to go up here and comment this out. Get rid of that. And let's just put okay, we can run this. All right, we run it and we get 1,048,576, which is what we would expect since that's the maximum number of rows in an Excel worksheet. Now, to get to the last row in our data set, we want to go down using the rows.count and then come back up, but stop at a cell that is filled. To do this, we'll use the end method and Excel up. So I'm going to uncomment this, and then I'm going to write sheets. First, we grabbed the dataset 1 that we set up in our last video. Then we wrote sheet1.cells and we passed it rows.count in column 1, which is to say, go to the bottom of column 1. All right, so we're at the bottom of our worksheet in column 1. Then we access the end method and go up, or Excel up. Last, we have the dot row to get the row number. Now let's run this. And we get 10. And I'm just going to go look at our data set here. And you can see 10 is our last row in column 1. We can get the last row of column 1, but what if we have a set of data, but not all the columns are filled in? While we can hope that column 1 is always completely filled in, a better practice would be to check all the columns and see which one has the largest row number. In the next video, we'll find the column count. But for now, we can pick 5, which I know is the amount of columns we have in dataset 1. Okay, let's write some code. We added max row and set it to 0. We then created our for loop and went from 1 to 5, or 1 to the number of columns we wanted to check. Inside the for loop, we created a variable called temp row, and we set it equal to our code for finding the last row. However, we modified it a little by changing column 1 in the cells property to I, allowing it to check the 5 columns. Then we have an if statement. This if statement checks temp row against max row. If temp row is greater than max row, temp row becomes our new max row. If it isn't, then max row doesn't change. So let's run it. Oops. Just fix this. And run it. And we get 12. And if we go look at our data, we can see that column 4 has our max row, which is 12. Okay, that's it for this video.